Section 4 names multiple worksheets, linking workbooks and consolidating data. Exercise 68 on page 79 is looking at defining a name. Pretty simple. We just highlight the range that we want the name to be. So in this example, B7 to B14. Then we go into the name box, which is here. This is our formula box or formula bar. This is our name box. And type in cost. Press enter. Retail, enter. Margin, enter. Quantity, enter. Another way that we can insert names is using the menus. So highlighting the range again. Insert, we go to the formula ribbon. And define names. Up here we can see define names. Define name. It's selecting our range, and this is where we can call it something else. Quantity, for example. Name already exists because I've already set it up, so quantity test. Now that we have defined the names, we can use them in formulas, and that's what exercise 70 does. For example, in cell B16 equals sum, and then using one of the defined names that we already have, cost, it is already highlighting the area of cost and totals it. Notice that it's summing the cost defined name, which is associated with that, but in this instance, we are not summing the range, we're summing the defined name cost, which so happens to be this range. If I click in it, it will highlight that. If you wish to sum retail, same, and retail, we can actually see retail here, and notice that this is a defined name that is now showing up when we select on sum and input our arguments. It will include the defined names we've created. Enter. And dollar sign. The exercise also asks us to create a formula in cell D16, which is retail minus cost price, brackets, back over retail price, which for totals I don't believe is telling us anything, but I'm doing it anyway just to illustrate. Go to C16. Oops. Doesn't want to even do it. Okay, so there it is there. That's similar to the book, although it's not really telling us anything because it's just totaling up the cost price of several products. However, going over to quantity, on exercise 72, we can type in average margin, and using our average formula equals average, open brackets, and finding our defined name margin. There it is there, click on it. Define ranges are very useful with the go-to navigation command, so pressing F5, and here we can see, for example, cost. I click on that, it takes me to cost. F5, quantity or margin, let's try margin. A really good feature of Excel and great for auditing is formula ribbon. And we're going to using formula and paste names, and here we can paste any name, but we can also paste a list, And what that's doing, it's showing all our names and the ranges which the defined names relate to. The name manager is also very useful if we want to delete names and manage them. So for example, the quantity test name that I created before, there it is there. I can highlight that and delete or edit if I want to change the range. I could do that or delete. That demonstration should get you through to all the exercises up to exercise 80, and going to exercise 1, I will start from there in the CleanTech sheet. Here we have the CleanTech sheet, and I've actually entered the data down to step 10 and now on exercise 81, and we're to highlight range B5 to F5 in sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3, and then using our styles we can select it down and select heading 3 to insert some header formats. To ungroup the worksheets, we right click and then we can ungroup worksheets, and that brings us back to single sheet mode. To format across worksheets, I'm just going to do it perhaps slightly different. I've clicked all my worksheets so they're all grouped, and then styles and total. Exercise 83 asks us to create a summary worksheet, and we could do that by inserting as per the book. Another quick way is to right click, say on sheet 1, create a copy, and just use that as a bit of a template. So I'll rename that as summary, and in my columns I'll just have Devonshire, Cheltenham and Stanley Bay. Get rid of these two. So if I want to put in totals, I have to make sure that all my total rows are on the same row. So row 12 here, row 12, row 12, row 12. If that is the case and it's consistent, then I can do additions. This might be slightly different to the book, but I can do one there for summary. Or what I could do, I'll undo that, is highlight all my sheets, auto sum, all the way down to 11, because perhaps not this sheet, but the other sheets do go that far. Let's have a look in here. Yes, that's okay. And that is okay. And this is the one that goes all the way to 11. Quickly rename my worksheets just to make it helpful. Now that I've done that, I can actually move that formula. I've checked it and move it across, even to the grand total column. Again, I need to highlight all the sheets to make sure it's going to do all the totals in all the sheets. Let's have a look. Yep. Back to summary. So now I'm getting my totals from Devonshire page. It's there. Totals from Cheltenham. It's here. Stanley Bay. There. Once I have these, then it's quite easy to copy paste over. Do the totals. Okay. Now I want to do sums for my rows, so I'm going to highlight again. Total. down. Ungroup. Now with this one, I don't need these here, so I can actually delete that. It's a lot easier when you're working between many worksheets to actually have it on the same row. It's something that will assist in error handling and just make it a lot easier. Okay, highlighting sheets again, do a bit of formatting. Through. Right click, ungroup. It's looking pretty good. So my formula error handling is telling me that it's referring to cells that are currently empty, but I know that the reason why I have that there is so these other worksheets are totaling completely the data in them. For example, Stanley goes down to row 11. Once I know that my summary page is working correctly, I can then, if I wish to, just delete these. Exercise 84 is a good example of creating a formula using name ranges across a worksheet. So we have our worksheets and we're asked to put a total by using name ranges. First of all, let's define the name ranges and know how to do that. In a total, we can put Devonshire and do the same for the other sheets with their names. Clicking on the total F12. Stanley. What is important though and needs to be remembered is that defining names has to have no spaces when entering the name in the name box. So Stanley Space Bay becomes Stanley Bay. Exercise 85 is illustrating how to view different sheets within a workbook. It's not one that I use, but I will show what the book does. So we go View, New Window, and what it's actually doing is just creating another version of the CleanTech spreadsheet. As you can see here, version 3, version 4. So if you look at the Excel tab, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. It's created 4 versions or 4 spreadsheets. Then what's happening is when we're selecting a range, selecting tile, Windows of Active Workbook, it's putting those 4 spreadsheets together. May be useful for some people if the area that they're working on is small and you're doing 4, then the more you get, obviously, the harder it is. If you're doing 1 or 2, it can be quite helpful. To get out of the view, you can just close down the windows. Notice that the CleanTech version 1, it will actually go back to just CleanTech version. So it's still CleanTech version 1, but as I close the others down, it now becomes back to the CleanTech XLS. Exercise 86 is just getting students familiar with the right-click options on the worksheet. So right-click, we can insert or delete a worksheet, rename, move or copy. We've pretty much done those ones. There are a few, there's protect sheet where we can protect the worksheets or what people enter into. And view code, if we were to select on that, it does bring us into the Microsoft Visual Basics editor. And that is where, I guess, more advanced features like coding can occur. Just to get out of there, we can click there and click on that and back to the worksheet. Right click, we can hide our worksheets. tab color, our worksheets, etc. Want to hide, right click, hide. So it's really asking students just to have a go themselves. Unhide, there it is there. Okay. Problem with unhide is that you have to actually unhide one at a time, which can be pesky if you've done a lot of hiding of many sheets. So just remember that. Okay, exercise 87, I've gone in, right click, and I've renamed January to April here on my worksheet, as well as my total. And then it's asking us to, basically the easiest way is to copy this sheet, and asking us to create another sheet, which we call May to August. And then we do it again. Just creating another copy. September to December. It does talk about right formatting, right aligning the total, so let's do that. But let's do it where we've got all the worksheets combined. We know that they're all the same, so we can do that. Highlighting all the worksheets. Do that. Headers, and we will align right, which is this one here. If I just click out of the group into one worksheet, it actually does get me out of the group mode as well. And as you can see, they're all being shifted to the right, which is what we wanted. Then we're asked just to change titles. So, May, August. September to December. And then changing titles to reflect that. Put them in the order that they're meant to be. Book does ask us to change some of the figures in the sales to May to August worksheet and the sales September to December worksheet. So just go ahead and do that. I'll do that quickly. Okay, once we've entered all the data in those sheets, we're asked to create a summary. Right click on any of the sheets, move or copy, create a copy. Let's rename that summary. Change our subheading, sales summary 2013. April. May to August. Delete column E. And just clear it or clear that, ready to get into our files. just clicking on the equals and then to my worksheet. $69,934. Okay, so if we want to preview all of our worksheets, selecting all, page layout, page setup, print preview, and it will print all 4 of them on 4 different pages.